Okay. Praise his name.
Yes.
Happy Thankful Thursday, beautiful people. Welcome to In His and Her Words Live. I am the girl, Abah SoFloetic. And in the building, we are always here with you all. My boy, Mr. Demetrius Smith.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
My sister, Miss Ladi Darah.
What's going on out there?
And our other king, Mr. Brian David, is out keeping it fit with new clients, y'all. Y'all definitely support Under Construction Fitness with Brian David. Okay, he helping get that summer body together.
Right.
Okay, Brian said them summer bodies are put together in the winter. Okay, so you can
That's
show it off in the
That's
summer.
when you need to get them.
I definitely need to get that too. I got all this voluptuousness happening right here. You know what?
You want mine? Summer
Yeah.
body.
I know that's right, honey. That's my mama. What's up, everybody? Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm cleaning my glasses. If y'all hear some feedback, y'all got the excuse to take now. We got so many devices in front of us, y'all. Y'all would not even believe it. But welcome, you guys. I'm so happy that you were tuned in. Once again, this is In His and Her Words Live with Abah SoFloetic, Demetrius Smith, and Ladi Darah. Happy Thankful Thursday. The topic tonight, you guys, is the powers that be. Now, before I get into all of this, I don't often do it, but I'm going to share with you all some of my poetry first. Okay.
Right.
Because I felt like it was fitting. It is Black History Month. I wrote this poem after Maya Angelou transitioned, and I just felt like she was speaking to me. You know, and it was so crazy that I woke up in the wee hours of the morning, like I sometimes do, and for whatever reason, I went for my cell phone, and bam, all over social media was that everybody saying rest in peace to Maya Angelou, and I just like it was like a knife to my heart, and I couldn't believe she was gone. And I raised up in bed, and I just started to, express my heart, just thanking her for being on this earth, for the legacy that she left behind. Next thing you know, I had a pen in my hand, and I started writing. So the poem, it reads as though this is Maya's message to us. So I titled it From Maya. Okay? From the start of this journey, there is much I feared. My success made it look easy for me to be here. In my adolescent years, I felt cursed. My brown skin was like dirt in the eyes of those who deemed themselves superior. Despite their prejudice, I refused to feel inferior. Oh, at moments I did want to run, hide, scream, cry, question God. Why? Did the Creator really send me here to die at the hand of hatred? No, I was chosen to aid in dividing and conquering injustice. Boldly I joined the fight of my forefathers and advocates to shine my light on darkness. The fight in my soul gave me the strength to endure this road. Through lines of poetry, I slayed that mental enemy. Rose above questioning when it became clear to me. I could sing because I was not caged. My spirit could be celebrated. My freedom could be celebrated like at a parade. The only way I could lose is if I choose to be trampled upon and used. By into the foolishness I was meant to rise phenomenally. Not one tear. I completed the purpose I was meant to fulfill here. I graced podiums and stages, received accolades and standing ovations. I hand you the torch. Now go forward and march. We must dispel this belief in society's definition of us, not by being rebellious, but by ascending high, utilizing the power of mind over senseless matters. Don't react to ignorant slander. The more you rise up in rage to engage in confrontation, altercation, and protest, the more society believes you have no common sense. Remember, action speaks louder than words. The way to be both seen and heard is to demonstrate poise and temperance, nonviolent exuberance, class, and intelligence. Go on now, beloved. My journey continues beyond this side. You'll feel me from time to time, remind you to stay in line with what your spirit holds true. I've done my part, now you. Leave the mark you were purposed to. And that's that thing.
I like it.
Thank you. So from Maya, you guys, and I felt like because of all this madness, you know what? It seems to me, and Whether you guys choose to agree, it's fine. But from the moment we brought in 2019, it's been headline after headline after headline. And the crazy part about it is it's been majority us, and we have been coming for one another with guns loaded. And it's not to say that the individuals who made these headlines did not deserve accountability. Of course they did. Karma, you can't escape it. You know, whatever your offenses, you're going to be accountable for them. But it's how we respond to, you know, the R. Kellys, the Bill Cosbys, the UC Smolletts. You know, it's how we react to all of this stuff. Monique and Steve. You know, I got a chance. I'm trying to remember. I think this was Saturday, afternoon, early afternoon, and we were just hitting the afternoon time. And this is when I saw the videos that Monique had posted not long after she had just did the interview on Wednesday with Steve. And here it was Saturday. I'm finding two videos on social media. One, she's calling Steve. She has a clip of Muhammad Ali talking about never selling his soul or selling out his people for money. And she has the definition of selling out. And then the second video, it was a clip from Roots, and it was the character played by Luke Gossett Jr., who was talking to Kunta Kinte, saying how the master had him set up in a nice house with nice floors, and he got good meals, and he wasn't gonna give that up for nobody. And so basically, she was talking about that character, or trying to prove where Steve was a house ninja. You know, the slaves that got favor with master, or they sucked up to master, if you will. You know, they were called, you know, the house ninja or the Uncle Tom or whatever the case. You know what I mean? And I think the thing that is so heartbreaking is that there were so many that rose up in agreement with her. Steve immediately got slammed. The memes went up instantaneous. Hey, Andre, the memes went up, the attacks went up, the insults went out. And I'm like, I felt so heartbroken. All of a sudden, I kid y'all not, I'm sitting on the edge of my bed and tears is streaming. All of a sudden, I felt the spirits of Malcolm and Martin. And I just remembered how at those pivotal moments in their journey, when they knew that they had to take their causes to another level. And I'm talking about that level where you even have to rise up on some of your own people. You know what I mean? Because they're so close minded and they're so conditioned that they can't see past what they have been convinced is the truth. And so I just got so heavy because I simply went on Monique's IG when I didn't see the one with Muhammad Ali immediately. I saw the one with the Roots clip first. And then there was over like 8,000, 10,000 comments. And everybody was pretty much, there was a few that was challenging her, but the majority was for her. And so I'm confused because last week on this show, when I mentioned this as a part of my trending news, I was saying how proud I was of that conversation. How Steve actually had the, you know, as a big brother, as a mentor, as an equal, however y'all want to call it, define that relationship. He pulled his sister aside and was trying to enlighten her about her motives and how she could have went about handling her beefs with Oprah and Lee Daniels and Tyler Perry. You know, that's what I saw. I saw somebody step into somebody that he cares about and trying to enlighten her. But and I saw her looking a little bit rebellious, but at the same time loving him, hugging him, thanking him, agreeing to a negotiation. And I'm saying, this is how it's supposed to be done. You know, you see your brother, your sister stepping out of line, you pull their coattail, you know, you let them know, come on, you can do better than this. And then you go forward and you got to hold my hand a little bit to get me there. Then whatever has to be done to get me there, then we do that together as family. That's what I saw. So I'm singing their praises. And now I'm confused because I'm like, no, wait. Roots, Uncle Tom, a sellout, a house ninja? Are you kidding me? And so I simply asked on the IG, what happened? What happened to the love? What happened to the family? What happened to the brother sister? What happened? Do you know, y'all? I got called a slave. I got called a bitch. Some chick actually took my picture off of my IG with my cute little pink dress and my hair looking all fly from when I was in the play, London Beverly's play, How to Beat That Beat His Own Game. This girl took my picture and she said, "You need to do something with that red shit on your head because you think that makes you look better. You look ridiculous." Oh, I got all the insults, honey. I got called blind. I was told I needed to read the Bible. I mean, they came for me. And I'm sitting up here now, y'all. Let me just say loud and clear. I know exactly who I am. So all I sent them was some love and light. But it just made me think about how Martin and Malcolm had to go high. When these other idiots was going low, they had to go real high. How Barack and Michelle had to go high, real high, and maintain that altitude. You understand? And I'm sitting up there feeling grieved in my spirit because I'm like, Lord Jesus, I know that there's been a lot of indifference going on this land for years, generations after generations. With us, with other ethnic groups, I know it's been happening. But I'm like, for some reason, it just hit me that it was intense, y'all. I'm like, yeah, no, we can't be silent. We can't just excuse people and just brush them up. Oh, that's just ignorant. I'm not even going to entertain that. There's something else that's got to go down. There's something else. And I just feel like platforms like this, if you got it, let's talk about it. Not let's just talk about it, but let's and go further and try to come up with a resolve because I just feel like if you're going to take the time to use a platform in front of America, basically, and then you turn around and you do this, then clearly something else on the inside of you is not right because you never got past all of this stuff. It's building up, it's building up, and it's building up. And I'm speaking about Monique. Monique, I just watched her and Sydney's podcast. They filmed this on yesterday, and it is on her IG. It is on YouTube if y'all want to go and watch it. It's a 1 hour and 1 minute long. Now, she says to all you bitches that I ain't holding no fucking grudge. I'm holding on to the truth. And I said in my mind, well, you know what? Truth is not slanderous. Truth is not going to send you down this path of inviting people to suck dicks, to kick ass, and all that other kind of stuff. That's
And
not
you know
true.
what? Steve, in that video,
Right,
I remember he mentioned to her
right,
that when she said she was coming from a place of love, remember?
right.
And he specifically told her, he said, well, it doesn't sound like that when you're telling people to suck your,
Right.
that doesn't sound like love.
And let me just say what she said in her defense on her podcast with her husband, Sydney. She said, love gets real ugly. For all you mother suckers that's telling me that I don't know love and that love, she says, love is not hearts and flowers and rainbows and bow ties all the time. Sometimes love gets ugly. And all I got to say,
Not in that way.
No.
and see here, because this is what I'm getting ready to say.
That's toxic.
Yeah, oh yeah, because what I have always said, especially as a love advocate, having in his and her words, love and relationships is my heart and my soul. I love everything about trying to keep us together in love, loving one another appropriately. This is the whole reason why I put all this stuff together and why I continue to come forward and try to shed as much light on stuff as I can and be enlightened in the process. Because y'all give it back to me too. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like when love challenges you, matter of fact, I wrote a meme commentary to this point that I'm getting ready to make, and it's circulating somewhere out there on Instagram. If y'all go to the In His and Her Words IG page, you'll find it out there. But I said, and I always say, that love is God. That's first and foremost. And when you step out of line and you begin, your vibration begins to contradict the realities of who God is. God is patient and He's kindness. Yes, He holds you accountable, but this accountability is to mold you. It's like the refiner's fire. You have to feel a little bit of sizzle in order to come out of that thing pristine. You know what I mean? And so this is not punishment, contrary to what the church might say. This is to intensify the lesson so that you grasp the lesson. You understand? You grasp the message.
Okay. Kendall says, Sister, will you agree there's many different roads to get to one destination? I totally agree.
Absolutely. Absolutely there is. There certainly is. Because you know what? Some people, but there's a saying, man dies many deaths until he learns the truth, which sets him free. And can I tell you what that means, Kendall? That means that if you are sent to take a certain journey, right? Because we are contractual beings. We're here under the spiritual contract. You came here because you had something that you needed to fulfill. And this is not your first lifetime, in case you don't know that. Okay, so you back in this reality because something was incomplete. So therefore you were on a journey. It took you someplace. Obviously the lesson wasn't fully mastered because here you are incarnated again. You understand? So that's a road that you took, and now you're on a different path. Hopefully it'll take you to where your soul is ultimately trying to go. You know what I mean? So yes, there are various paths that was, but the thing is that even though the paths may be different, the ultimate destination is the same. Your soul is meant to elevate. Your consciousness is meant to expand. That's the ultimate goal for all of us. You know, to step out of single-mindedness, to step out of prejudice and judgment, and walk in love. And I'm sorry, there is no other way to describe love. It does get intense. But love is not a bully. It is not a culprit. It does not bash. It does not slander. It is not abusive.
It doesn't
Not
hate.
abusive.
Exactly. And I'm sorry. You know what?
Give my suck that you bitch hold that.
That's
Yeah,
not love. That's not
exactly.
love.
And that is the
Not
point.
love.
When I went on her IG, let me be clear, because I hope Monique sees my video. I want it to get into her lap because she and her husband said repeatedly during their podcast on yesterday that there is no hate for Steve Harvey. They love him, which is why they're putting all of this stuff out there. And I'm sitting perplexed as fuck.
Yeah,
because
I am too.
I'm sitting up there saying, but wait a minute. Okay, now here's my thing. Because I feel like, number one, if Demetrius or Lady Darah went astray, whatever that might mean, or whatever the weaknesses may be that may lead you to fall in whatever kind of way, first of all, before I go national and or call somebody up on the phone and say, oh my God, guess what happened to Demetrius? Guess what happened to Lady Darah? No, I'm calling them first. Like, what can I do to help you? What is up with you? What is going on with you? Now, if I should happen to get cussed out because they're not ready to go there with me just yet, then guess what? That's our conversation. Whenever they are ready to talk to me, then we're going to have a conversation. And I'm still not going to be holding no girl. Well, you know what? I don't want to talk to your ass now. Last time you cursed me out, so I'm done with you.
And another thing too, not to cut you off, but Monique did say in that interview to Steve
Right,
that she has learned how to agree to disagree.
right.
But I don't
But did
understand.
not display that.
Yeah, that was.
But wait, but hold on. And somebody on her page who was defending her said, agree to disagree, which I do believe this. When you agree to disagree, what you're ultimately saying is this conversation is over because obviously we're not on the same page, but it is not a resolve. Okay, fine. It's not a resolve. We don't see eye to eye. Let's leave this subject alone. Let's move on. Okay, but my version of moving on is I'm going on with
You
yours.
squashing it.
I'm going on with my life.
Yeah.
You know, it don't make sense for us to keep going around this mulberry bush. I got a business deal. I got to go to Las Vegas to
Right.
finish doing my stuff. I got things to do. That's what I'm thinking moving
Right.
on is.
Right.
Moving on to me is not consciously editing and putting together videos and then putting them on social media,
That's retaliation.
which you know is going to cause a reaction, and you know this man is going to get slammed, and you cannot call that sisterly love. You can't call that no kind of love because it is retaliation. It is retaliation, and you know what you're doing. So don't come over here on one breath and say that you love him, but you need to speak up for the masses. That's creating conflict in the masses. You got people.
But see, I'm going to say this. Learning, this is the thing about love. Because we throw this word around too much.
Oh, geez.
And it's annoying.
It is.
The thing about love is you have to first learn how to be in a space
Yes.
where you love yourself. And see, when you get to that space,
Right.
then we can offer that love free.
Right.
Because you get to this space where you truly are fulfilled within.
Yes.
And when you have that sense of fulfillment within,
Right.
you can say, you know what, Demetrius, I don't agree with you.
Right.
But we're going to agree to disagree. And I'm going to leave it right there.
You go your way, I go my way. I'm not going to sit up and say, you know what, guess what she did.
Right. Or they're going to tomorrow blast you on social media.
Right, exactly. And even if you should sit down and have an interview, because they did do an interview with a gentleman here. That's a shame. I can't remember his name right now, but I follow him on Facebook. And it's WAOK 1380. She did do a interview with him yesterday as well. Or maybe it was the day before, but I know it was recent. And they go into further detail. And even what she just said. If an interviewer came and said, "Oh my God, I saw that interview with you and Steve Harvey," what more do you have to say to that, Monique? Nothing. Nothing. We agreed to disagree, and I'm over that. What's your next question? Next question. You know what I'm saying? Why would you continue to egg that on? Is my point. Because you cannot sit now and see. This is another issue that I'm seeming to have with all of this, because you want to blame it or charge it to enlightening my people. We have to wake up. We have to love each other for real. We have to wake up and love each other for real. Sorry, y'all.
Technical difficulties.
We have to wake up and love each other for real. Okay? But my whole thing is that you cannot wake somebody up with insult. I'm sorry. You can't wake somebody up with slander. And I think this is the height of the journey Malcolm and Martin took when Malcolm found himself at odds with the Nation of Islam. We talk about a whole nation. You know what I mean?
Right.
This man got a revelation about what it meant to be brothers. He had to travel all the way to Mecca to realize that Muslims were not just dark-faced. There was all kinds of Muslims and all kinds of shades. And he came back to the States like, so y'all was sitting up here telling me this when, I'll go to Mecca in this temple and we look in all kinds of ways. It's not just Black America against white America. It's bigger than that. And when he tried to bring that light, what ultimately ended up happening? That man was murdered. Okay?
Right.
Martin, same thing. You know what I'm saying? He decided, I'm not taking the violent approach.
Okay.
Why should I fight you? Okay.
You made a good point, Kendall.
Okay.
But at the same time, let's talk about this.
Okay.
Kendall says Malcolm and King had different approaches and opinions of each other, but for the same cause.
Right.
However, at the end, King said his dream became a nightmare. Is it not right and fair for her to have her opinion?
Okay, Kendall, it is right and it is very fair for her to have an opinion. Absolutely. And Dr. King did realize that the dream was a nightmare, but he never turned against the dream. He never stopped believing in the dream. It was nightmarish, the process of making the dream a reality, but it never ended. It never stopped. He never stopped believing in his own dream. He never stopped fighting for that till he took his last breath. The process is always going to be a nightmare when you're big. And let me tell you the part, Kendall, that made it a nightmare for Dr. King. The slander. Did you ever watch the King documentary where a white man walks in from the street into the pulpit where King was preaching and spits in his face? His whole congregation was ready to rip this man apart. But Dr. King stopped him, stopped the whole church in their tracks and was like, no. Because it's easy to pick up your fist and fight, but we got to go deeper than that because it's more than swinging blows. You have to go deeper than emotional retaliation and emotional defense. You have to go deeper than that. That's reactive. That's not proactive.
Right.
So if Monique is thinking that she's being proactive because she's speaking loud with a lot of bitches and motherfuckers, that is not being proactive. That is being reactive, emotionally defensive.
Travis says, when Malcolm went to Mecca, he truly became awake. That is why he was assassinated.
Yes, sir, Travis. Yes,
sir. That was the point I was going to make earlier.
Yes, sir.
Your journey is your journey.
Yes.
However, while you're in that journey, you have to allow your perception to change.
Yes.
That's key.
Yes.
Or in other words, if you don't allow that perception to change, be more open-minded and allow it in, where's your journey going to end you? Where's going to be your influence?
Yes.
What's the point of the journey?
Yeah, come on now. There has to be a point of enlightenment. You can sit there. I will never forget when I was embracing the reality that my marriage was totally over. Totally. It was beyond reconciliation. And I was on the phone talking to my sister Kelly McCray that lives in North Carolina. She is a medium, a shaman. And I remember Kelly saying, this is going to be very difficult for you to exit. She says, because both of you all have some intense personalities. She says, and what has brought you to this place is that she says, do you know that song, When I Move, You Move? When I move, you move. She said, y'all are so rooted in what you believe until ain't nobody trying to negotiate. The only thing you trying to do is hold on to your point. And I said, oh my God, that is so true. We cleaved more to our arguments on what we believe was right than what them trying to cleave to one another and come to a mutual understanding and agreement. There was no empathy. There was no damn sympathy. There was no compassion. It was, I'm right, your ass is wrong. No, fuck that. You wrong and I'm right. No, fuck that. You right and I'm wrong. No, fuck that. You wrong and I'm right. It was that. There was no middle. It was no trying to negotiate nothing. It was, I'm standing on my shit. Fuck you. You know what I'm saying? And this is Monique all day long. She can sit up there with them sweet baby sugars and sweet honey loves. And I love you, sweet sugar. And I love you, my baby. You can say that till you blow in the face. But all you trying to, the only person you're trying to convince that shit is true is you.
I like that, Travis. Travis said he realized that Muslim or Islam was not to be a religion, but a way of life.
Absolutely.
For any person to live by, no matter the color of your skin.
That's right. Absolutely, Travis. And that is the truth. Very, very true. Very true. And I have family members that are very devoted to their Muslim lifestyle, and I'm very proud of them. My cousins that live in Houston, Texas, my Uncle Frank's children. My Uncle Frank has 8 kids, 7 sons and a daughter. And I think just about all of them live the Muslim lifestyle.
But your opinion is very much important.
Absolutely.
But it's how you go about it.
Yes.
It's just like Steve Harvey said, there was a way around.
And see, and you know what?
How you could have gotten around and made a point.
Exactly.
And gotten what you want. It became a different way with it.
Exactly, because Steve wasn't telling her not to have an opinion and make her point.
Right.
But he was just telling her to make it
a way to go about doing it.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But you know what? A lot of people that hold all that hatred and anger in their heart, they didn't hear that.
Right. No.
You see what I'm saying?
No.
They only hear fight.
Right.
That's all they hear. Drama.
Exactly. And for whatever reason, we deem drama exciting.
Yeah.
We gravitate to it.
Like they say back in New Orleans, you're messy.
Yeah. Oh,
that's what we used to say.
Very messy.
Instead of coming from a place of love and saying, you know what, I just don't agree with you, baby.
Right. Exactly.
Period. And I'ma still love you, but show that, express that.
Okay.
I love you, but I still think I'm right.
Exactly.
I love you, but I still think I'm right.
Softly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I have to be all animated. And trust me, I know, because I used to be Queen Animation.
Ooh,
okay?
Queen Drama.
I'm very animated, but at the same time, I have learned how to humble myself.
That's
too.
right.
I am a very animated, very charismatic, very outspoken, passionate person. However, because of ministry, because of life, because of love, I know how to humble myself. I'm so used to, I do have a very take charge spirit. I'm a natural leader. It's just in me. But at the same time, I also have had to learn that the teacher is never stops being a student.
That's right.
You don't ever stop learning. You have to always hold on to humility. It does, and so this is what I named the show, The Powers That Be, because I can't, and I posted to you guys. It is from the Daily Om. O-M. Om is a chant. Om. And the Daily Om, I get their daily inspirational messages. And this one is from the 20th. So it was yesterday. And I printed this one out. I posted it in my Facebook group. I posted it on the It Isn't Her Words Facebook page. And I put it on my main Facebook page. And I did label, I said it was kind of lengthy, but it was worth the read because there's so many of us that talk about the powers that be. Even Steve went into that a little bit when he was trying to break down the game to Monique. And even though some of Steve's message was taken out of context, what he was actually trying to get her to understand was you must flow in decency and in order. Period. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about that shit. You can catch way more bees with honey than you can with vinegar. That's not selling out. That's learning how to respect yourself. That's learning how to be able to respect somebody else despite their ignorance and still put your point of view out there in decency.
See, that goes back to if you haven't done that inner work and polished that character a little bit from your life experiences. All you're going to do is repeat that same stuff over and over again, even into the next life.
And over again. And this is so very true. Man dies many deaths before he learns the truth with set him free. And that Tina Marie song that we love so much, Deja Vu, if you sit there and listen to them lyrics, she said if your life is full of sin and you have not learned what it is to love, you're going to come back and do this shit again. Wow. You're going to come do it again. You're going to do it again and again and again until you get it right. Because that's what the mission is. That's what the purpose is. I don't care how you slice the cheese. That's what it is. Okay? Now, this is called the powers that be because the powers that be, y'all want to know who the real powers that be is? It is you. You are the powers that be. Your own personal power, the power that you have within you to utilize it the right way, not in trying to manipulate and control and condition people's mind and brainwash them, but absolutely walking in divine truth and in divine light. Everybody want to call their truth the truth. You know what I'm saying? There's so many variations of the truth. It's just like that Bible with all of them massive interpretations of that word. Everybody wants to talk about the Bible says. The Bible says, do you know how much that Bible has been reinterpreted? Right. I mean, it's distorted. You can, and it still gets taken out of context. Even after all of that manipulation, it still is taken out of context because people want to twist words to make it mean what they think it ought to mean, not what it actually means. And so what made this own article stand out, this is kind of long. I can't read all this, but the young lady who wrote this, her name is Madison Taylor. And what made me want to go into further detail is she said power is not about exerting our will over others. It is about being in complete truth with yourself. You know what I'm saying?
It always starts with you.
Yes. Now, somewhere in Monique's mind, she probably believes, and I've heard, as I'm listening to that podcast from yesterday, everybody that called in there was in 1,000% support of her. I love Monique with all my heart. God knows I do. She's an inspiration to me, especially because she's gotten fit, she's gotten healthy, she's gotten that weight off of her. She looks amazing. I'm really, really proud of her. I can see that Monique is putting forth effort to ascend. You know what I mean? To do better in her choices and her way of living, but she has not arrived at that place of total healing. She sat on that podcast from yesterday and called her family cowards, from her mother to her brothers, cowards, because she is still holding on to shit that went on when one of her brothers, Gerald, I believe, molested her, and her mother did nothing to hold him accountable. She said she told her mother she was sitting down to do an interview with Essence Magazine, and she was going to tell the story. And she said at first her mom was like, I don't know, baby, because both of you come from me. How does a mother pick between her children? And Monique is saying, well, mama, if we tell the story, do you know that you will help somebody? Because this is not new. Do you know how many black families have been affected by incest and molestation, but they don't know how to come forward and tell their story? She said, if somebody see you being brave enough to talk about it, that might inspire them to confront the issue. Now, I agree with that. I agree with that 1,000%. But Monique said when it came time for her and her mom to actually do the interview, the mama backed out. And so the mama is now a coward to her. Because Gerald has never been held accountable and the family still loves him, he's a coward too. You know what I mean? The daddy is a coward. The other brother is a coward. They're all cowards. But now her beloved husband, Sydney, she said Sydney is raising their sons to be kings. And that's not anything she ever saw her father do. She's never seen her brother step into that role. So her husband knows what it is to raise kings, but her family is weak. And I mean, she has a right to feel however she wants to feel.
I'm sorry. I think, excuse me, I'm sorry. There's something deep down in Monique that's emotionally dead.
Oh, wounded. Completely wounded.
You can hear it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Because she's putting up this big anger front.
Oh, yeah.
And I can see it, and it's not.
Oh, yeah.
That's
Let
not
me tell you something. The moment you resort to cursing people out, if you can't, if our conversation shifts, if I'm sitting up here, because that's what I told the folks on her IG when they came for me. And I kept saying, but I'm not talking to you crazy. You talking about my hair. You sitting up here talking about my skin. You calling me bitches. I didn't even go there with you. Why are you talking to me like that when all I'm saying is I'm confused? I just need some help understanding what happened. Because I'm seeing one thing, but now I'm seeing something different.
Something in them relates with Monique.
Right. Of course. Absolutely. And I said, you see, because you can't bring yourself to the state, and I'm not trying to act like I'm better, because God knows every day I'm learning. Every day I'm learning, and every day I'm ascending higher.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, baby.
And to what you said, I'm thinking because they're seeing Monique, I'm not going to give up what I want my money. I should have had all this money. A black woman not backing down.
Right.
And I'm thinking that's what they're seeing.
Right. They're seeing strength. They're seeing strength. Right.
Well, guess what? You can be strong and be silent.
Yes,
you can.
That's so powerful.
Yes, you can.
I ain't even reached that one 100%.
Let me tell you something. The prophetess, y'all heard me mention the prophetess on this show before. That's my friend Joyce that lives in New Orleans, and I call her the prophetess. I remember I don't know where this girl had this posted, but it said, speak only if you're silent, if your words is as powerful as silence. Speak only if your words are as powerful as silence. Can you imagine that? I mean, you have to really meditate on that to get what that is actually saying to you. Silence is stillness.
Yeah.
It is tranquility. Right. It is that space in between this dimension and the heavenly realm. And that space is like the eye of a storm. In the eye is where all the peace is. The chaos is going on around it. Exactly. But in the eye is nothing but calmness. Right. And so when your words are not supposed to be sitting up there causing disturbance. Right. It's not supposed to grieve people. It is not supposed to be sitting up here wrecking chaos. Now I do realize that there are sometimes when you utter truth, it is going to get some people upset. But guess what? That is to break up the fallow ground, to help them raise them to enlightenment. But like I said, the truth does not have to be spoken by way of cursing and by way of insulting, by way of degrading. And we seem to be great at that. It's like we resort to the dozens in a nanosecond. Jussie Smollett was found guilty of lying and fabricating this whole story about being assaulted and attacked. And this boy is in police custody facing federal charges. And his career and shit is over. And I'm talking about, let me tell you now, just since this broke, 24 hours ago, maybe, there are memes everywhere. One meme had him driving OJ's Bronco truck, running from the police. Yeah. One meme had him looking like Lionel Richie, Lionel Richie was the front of the album. And I'm like, it won't stop. I'm like, but this is not funny, y'all. We laughing at the wrong things. Right. This boy that went up here and totally turned his life upside down. Is anybody trying to wonder why? Everybody calling him stupid. Everybody, what is wrong with you? He's desperate. Right. He's ignorant. He's just rich. Every name we can think to call him, but has anybody called that boy and offered him prayer? For real. Has anybody called that child and said, boy, listen, do I need to go with you to therapy? Do you need some counseling? Has anybody, nobody, I don't even know if anybody, maybe his family did. I'm sure Journey probably did. But I don't know. We are so quick to fall into the dozens and emotional defense and emotional attack. And if we're still hurting as a culture, because we've been dealt some dirty hands, we have. The African American culture, honestly, we have had to deal with a lot of struggles. Our ancestors, forefathers have gone through it. But are we not able to see where we've been victorious? Are we not able to see where we have triumphed? Some may feel like we haven't come all that far, but I think that we've made strides. And I think that is still within us. We got power, y'all, to make it how we want it. We do. You know, it's like
they're attracted to the chaos.
right.
Because see what Monique has professed is what a lot of people wanted to say.
Right.
But they didn't have the balls
Right.
to say it. So
Right.
they feel like Monique has that platform. She's speaking for all for that.
Yeah.
Those of you who feel that way, that's what I think it's about.
Well, somebody had posted a meme not that long ago, and it said, "Following the masses have you looking like," and they had the M scratched out, asses. Okay, following the masses will have you looking like asses. So you got to learn how to think for yourself. It's one thing to be inspired by somebody, but you have to be just like Monique feels like she's bold enough to out Black Hollywood or Hollywood, not Black Hollywood, but to out Hollywood and expose shade and inequality. You know, that's a beautiful thing. Right. You pull on them coattails. If they're wrong, they're wrong. Right. You totally have a right to expose them. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it's all in how you do it.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Barack Obama exposed shade with class.
Yes, he did.
And integrity.
Absolutely.
Did not once call nobody out and cuss them out.
Yeah, he didn't say anything about anybody.
And all of America then came for that man. Even our own people then came for him. He's an Uncle Tom. He ain't did nothing for Black America. He's just a waste of everybody's time. That was 8 wasted years. But and they not saying that's just awful. That's some awful mess. I mean, I don't know what else I can really say about this. All I know is that everybody that's screaming, "Wake up, we ain't woke." You ain't woke. You sitting up there trying to tell people to wake up and you sleep. You need to let's not even go there, honey. That's not a good thing. Hey, Crystal. Hey, you guys. Hey, Mama. Hey, Derek. Hey, everybody. Y'all in the building. Kathleen with a KP girl. What's up, chick? I'm so happy to see you all. So definitely you all share your feedback. We put a lot out there. I skip right over trending news, but I definitely want y'all to go to the dailyom.com and read this article. It is called Personal Power by Madison Taylor. This is so worth your reading. Now, I'm going to kind of go over trending news to kind of lighten it up a little bit. You know, I kind of did.
Trying to get the peace back.
Yes. Well, and you know, I don't even know how much this is going to lighten it because you know what?
Yeah, because we have so much.
Yeah, and let me tell y'all, because Toya Wright from New Orleans, who is married to Lil Wayne, she's always posting gorgeous pictures of her little girl, Rainbow. And Rain just turned 1, like maybe a week ago. She gave her first birthday party. And I mean, she's always posting the most cutest pictures of that little girl. And I didn't see the post where they came for her. I didn't see it. I didn't see the post where whoever called that baby ugly. Oh, no, it ain't done. No, that's Facebook. That's Facebook. It should be finished. Oh wow. Okay, whatever. But anyway,
we're gonna go on.
But anyway, I did not see the post where whoever the person was called Rainbow ugly. There's not a thing ugly about that child. That baby is beautiful. People are
Somebody else.
really? Okay, but anyway, you know what? I think we got some stuff.
Yeah, we got technical difficulties coming on. All tonight is just.
It's all right though. It's all right though, baby. It's all right.
Wow.
But anyway, so and usually Toya is very calm. She tries not to engage because she already know how internet trolls operate. So she tries very hard not to go there. But nonetheless, this time she broke. Now I did see her response. I didn't see what the person said. Wow. But Toya was like, "I'm sick of it. I'm tired of y'all coming for my freaking children. I'm not gonna have this no more. My children are off limits." Yeah. And what kind of person are you to come for a baby? She's a baby, 1 year old. So I don't know what they said, but they really got this girl all, and that's what I'm saying. I'm like, how the world do you insult a child? That child is 1.
I call them internet bullies. Yeah. You know, that's all they are.
Bullies.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
They can't say that to your face.
Right. Yes.
But they want to sit behind the computer screen and type what they feel.
Right. Yeah.
That's just
it's awful.
It just comes from a place of pain within themselves. Absolutely. When you carry that much hatred and anger around you.
Obviously, you don't love yourself.
Exactly. What you do, you lash out on other people.
I'm tired of this buffoonery. But we are going. Y'all know. We going.
There we go. We back now. We back. 3, 2, 1.
Technical difficulty.
It is what it is. But and the other thing I had wrote, now Mary J is finally officially, completely divorced from Kendu. He did manage to get a settlement. Once the divorce is final and these records are sealed, they can't tell the public, what the person got in as a settlement or whatever the case. But Mary said that she's happy that it's behind her, and she said that she is done taking care of men. Wow. Now, let me tell you how they came for May for that. Wait, let me tell you how they came for her for making that statement. The brothers got highly upset because they started talking about how men are always the ones that pay the child support, the spousal support, and all of this stuff. And so now I had put a question mark to ask, is it a double standard?
Wasn't he the one cheating though?
Yes, he was
the one cheating.
Okay.
But see, his argument,
why she's tired of taking care of
in the divorce proceedings, he was trying to imply that she was the one that was making the most money, and he got accustomed to a certain lifestyle, so it was on her to maintain that. And I'm
really?
Like, that's
after you decide to step out of the matrimony.
That was the same
argument. Did that play a factor in her settlement?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So was that a factor in her settlement?
Actually, yes, because they did take into consideration the fact that he did cheat and that he cheated with personnel within the organization.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
She could have been in the
because she could have sued for that, right?
Well, now, but see, the thing was that Mary did not have a prenup with Kim. Jill Scott had one with her husband, and because of the fact that he signed the prenup, he got nothing from her. Wow. Nothing. And so, hello. And you know what? And now he's on social media rattling chains over petty stuff because he's saying that she's done changed all the locks to their marital home and that she still has things of his that he wants back. Now, check out the things. An iPod, a CD, a book, a TV, a rug. And I'm like, you really gonna get on social media and talk about a CD and a book and a rug? And are you seriously going to go? Now that's just insane,
Pettiness.
But I don't believe so. Do you guys think that it's a double standard when it comes to
not under those circumstances?
I don't agree with that too. Not under those circumstances.
So if a woman has wealth and a man doesn't, and they get a divorce, should she be responsible for paying him alimony, spousal support, if they got children, child support? If
he stepped out and running around with my coworkers, and I'm supposed to support him financially, don't get me started.
Well, I can agree with that, but my whole thing is, I think it should be equal because if she makes all the money, then yes, maybe but.
Well, what about her mindset in that? Where does she get compensated? Well, from her emotions and her mindset, which is very important. Now, from the betrayal, the dishonesty, right? Where is her compensation? I just need to understand that.
Well, you know what? All I got to say is because it was talked about in His and Hers Facebook group, and I have to say that I'm very proud of Mary, and I happen to agree with her. I don't believe that there is a double standard at all, honestly, because you know what? In Mary's particular situation, she in the beginning she did credit Kendu for helping her get over some emotional hurdles. But it turned out that
he put him back.
And that's what thank you, because I'm about to say at the end of the day, she ended up going right back through. What you helped her come out of, you put her right back in. So how are you of help?
And mental scars can take lifetimes.
Very.
And then he's supposed to just run away with all her assets.
Yeah. That's not
a good one. Grow up and get a job.
Come on, Kendu.
Be a man. You was a man when you stepped out.
Say that.
So be a man
and make, that you should get anything, but
I can see if he was a stand-up
That's what I'm saying. If he was a stand-up person,
and
then
she dipped out or whatever the case may be, then by all means, yes, I need to.
I need to be paid, Mary. Yeah.
Yeah,
for real.
But
for real.
you put too much harm to the relationship. So.
I think so too.
People, please put in your ideas because we haven't had any conversation
except for Travis and
Kendall. Yes, thank you guys.
Thank y'all for chiming.
So we coming down to 8 minutes left, y'all, in the show, so we ahead. And I didn't write a whole lot of trendy stuff. I mean, God knows the headlines are without end. You know,
I'll tell you what though, the one that you sent me, the last one, I definitely wanted to bring up because we always bashing our black men for not taking care of their kids. And that man, tell them about that.
Okay. Well, there is an article that my brother in poetry, Ken Warner, he posted it, so that's where I got it from. And in the article, there is a guy who was separated from his daughter's mother. He went over, the little girl needed some medication. And the mom texted him, called him, and asked him would he stop by to bring the little girl medicine, and he did. When he got there, he went into the refrigerator, and all he saw in the refrigerator was water. But he checked, and he got concerned because he was worried whether or not his daughter was eating. When he checked the pantry, he saw that the baby stuff was well supplied. Her baby food, her milk, all of that stuff. But it was the mom who was not eating, but the child had ample stuff. So he felt like, she bought my child. How am I going to sit here knowing she ain't got nothing in this refrigerator? Mm-hmm. So he went out and he grocery shopped for her and got her a couple of weeks worth of groceries. And so, the question was, I think somewhere in that was, on Ken's post, Ken said he was kind of skeptical. He wasn't sure. But I think somebody posted somewhere, it was at the bottom of that article, do you think he did the right thing? I feel like, of course he did the right thing.
That was a very selfless act.
They're not together. Yeah, he knew that his child was being fed, but in order for his child to be taken care of, the mother has to be taken care of.
Absolutely. So, because they're one and the same.
Yes. And you know what? They did talk about the fact that she had a lot of expenses and stuff like that. But I mean, contrary to whatever, if you are not together and you're not a couple, there's nothing wrong with looking out for one another and making sure that you're okay. You know what I'm saying? There is no reason to be upset. And like I said, that goes back to holding on to emotional wounds. You understand? I love that Monique said that she's still growing, that she's still healing. Praise God. We all are. Can't nobody deny that. Right. None of us can profess perfection. We know what our areas of weaknesses are. We know where we need to come up. We know where we need to improve. All of us know that. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is acknowledging that. Don't just say, oh, I know. Or use the excuse that I'm only human. Because we'll say that in the New York section.
Man gonna be a man.
Exactly. You can lose all of them cliches that are excuses and just put yourself in a place of really what I really wanted more than anything, or what I thought I was witnessing when I first saw the clip of the interview with Stephen Moe, was I really thought he was helping her to see the light. Because I saw Monique, I saw her being rebellious, and I saw her biting down on her lip and acting stiff. But at the same time, when she hugged him and she was like, I love you, he's like, I love you too. We gonna get this right, whatever case. I'm thinking that, okay, finally Mo is listening to somebody. I felt like she heard him, but clearly she didn't.
But now that you I didn't know about the childhood and the family issues. Now that you mentioned that, it makes a lot of sense.
Yes, it does.
That's where it starts.
She has some deep down issues within herself.
And let me tell you, you see when it comes down to Lee and Tyler and Oprah, even when she retells those stories, you see when people betray you. Let me tell you something. When
she was proud when she said, I'm sorry. Go ahead. No. She was proud. She was proud when she said, suck my teeth. And I'm like, go ahead.
Yes. And Steve was trying to say, that wasn't right with your crazy ass. Yes, it was. That was one of my proudest moments. She was all like thinking like she had done a great thing. But wait, but then on that podcast on Sydney did yesterday, she comes back and say that's her comedy. When I'm on the road, it's comedy. Girl, come on now.
You supposed to be sitting down having an honest face-to-face, genuine, truthful talk.
Because let me tell you something. Because I seen that video. That was at the Apollo in New York, first off. And let me just say, when it's a joke, and you got folks cracking up, some comics will come back and say, I'm just playing y'all, and they'll bust out laughing or whatever. She went into let me just tell y'all, real, it's going to be real up here. It's going to be real. You know what I'm saying? So you're not joking, child. You reiterating what you really feel.
It's going to be real. Real means you're serious about it.
Dead serious.
And your public knows when you're serious.
Yes.
We can see it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and we can feel it.
All day. So at the end of the day, Miss Monique, I love you for real, because you love to say that. But my love is definitely real. This is totally not bashing you, and that's the truth. I would never do that because I love you too much. I done seen every Monique movie. And I love every single one of them. Right. Most of the time when I've seen the trailers to films and I knew you were in them, I was watching them for you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Because I saw your name. And I'm like, oh, Monique is in that. I got to watch. You know what I'm saying? So that's how, but I'm just hurt, Monique. I really am, because I want to see us unite for real. I want to see us really loving each other for real.
But you can't do that when you're coming from a place of pain.
Yeah.
What you can do is spend her love and pray for her.
Yeah, well, and Demetrius and I can certainly attest to this, because we were working with someone who was in a similar situation like Monique. And when we all parted ways, we got the same type of backlash. Even though she never went on social media and specifically said our names, she made constant innuendos and dropped constant remarks about being backstabbed by us, being betrayed by us, and all this other kind of stuff. And let me tell you the difference, because now one time did either one of us respond. We didn't go and try to defend ourselves. We didn't try to go and explain nothing to nobody. We didn't go back blow for blow, round for round. We didn't do none of that. We talked to each other. You know what I'm saying? He encouraged me, I encouraged him, and we kept on moving.
About this?
Exactly. And we kept that moving. Right. And we are right now, honey. We more than all right. Life has moved on. Yes, hallelujah. And you know what? And that's what it all comes down to. If I don't see eye to eye with you, it's okay. Right. At some point in time, we're gonna catch up to one another. Right. We may not be able to do it right now, but you might run into me in a coffee shop 2 years from now, 5 years from now. I'm like, girl, remember when we was sitting up there arguing about X, Y, and Z?
Right.
Child, let me tell you what happened when we stopped talking.
Come on.
This is what happened when we stopped talking. Oh my God, I had this epiphany, or I had that epiphany, or this person came and did this to me, and then I understood what you was trying to say. So some people, it takes them a minute to get it. And that's my prayer, that we get it. You know what I'm saying? There's too many things that I scroll past on social media and I shake my head. I'm like, Lord, where we at? But you know what? I still am not throwing up my hands and giving up on nobody. Because I believe that Deepak Chopra is famous for saying we're all doing the best that we can according to our level of consciousness. Mm-hmm. So that means that you may not be on the level of where I'm thinking, but eventually we're going to all get there. And we're going to all see the love in each other's eyes. We're going to see it. We may not all be there now, but we're going to get there.
And guess what? When we think that we're there, we're still ain't there.
Because
it's a constant.
It is constant. It is constant. And that's the beautiful thing about love and change. They are consistent. That is the truth. When we call love unconditional, that means no matter how much we transition, we change, we go up, we go down, we go east, we go west. Right. Love is right there being unconditional, without limits, without barriers. And that's the same thing with change. We know it's inevitable. That's right. You know, we're going to change whether you like it or not, whether it causes you discomfort or not. You don't have no other choice but to come up. You understand?
But see, that's why you were getting all of that backlash when you posted.
Oh, yeah.
Because when you're coming from a place of love, dark can't stand light.
Of course not.
So, you know, love is hated, believe it or not.
It is. Because
we don't entertain that stuff.
Let me tell you, too many times, because like I said, love and relationship, man, this is what I was talking about the most when I first started in His and Her Words. And I'm telling you, Whenever somebody got their heart broke or they felt like a guy did them wrong or a chick did them wrong, it was love is a bitch. Boy, they say, oh my God, and they cursing love out. Until I said, do you realize that when you speak against love, you're actually speaking against God? God is love. So don't sit up there professing faith and talking about a most high when in the next breath you're saying he ain't shit. This is too hard. I ain't got to. Love is a bitch. Love is this and that. But then you got faith. You got to watch the words that you speak. You can't. A double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. So you can't talk love in one breath and be talking dick in the next. You know what I'm saying? They're telling people to suck it. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that because that's a massive contradiction, honey. It don't work like that. You know what I'm saying? It just doesn't. So we have to rise up and learn the better way. That's what Steve was ultimately trying to say.
That's right.
And sadly, you know, we have to learn the better way. Right. You know, and that's what he was trying to, I mean, even though it came off sounding like he was telling Monique to forsake her integrity, Steve came back and apologized. And he said, I know I got faithful followers. I got faithful followers. I got young people that look up to me. I don't ever want them thinking that I want them to sell themselves short for $1. He said, that's not what I was trying to say. He said, and I let myself get caught up in emotion and I spoke incorrectly. He says, because I was just basically trying to... I don't think you spoke incorrectly. I understood. And you know what? And thank you, because that was what I was going to say. I said, from the moment this man started talking, I didn't take none of that out of context. I knew exactly where Steve was going from the moment the conversation began. And I got it. I didn't take offense. I didn't see sellout. I didn't see coon. I didn't see none of that. I saw love. It's black and white. It is. It's not what you say. It's how you say it. But people... Or how you go around it to get to the place where you...
And guys, we keep talking about this over and over again. It's just it makes sense. Yes, how it go. It's how you say it. It is how you say it. And that's what Steve was trying to get. Because I believe Maya Angelou has a quote. People will always forget something about it. They'll say people forget the things that you do for them, but they'll never forget how you made them feel. They will never forget how you made them feel. That's right. You understand? This is, and I'm telling you. That's why Mary J didn't have to pay that man. Woo! Because she ain't gonna never forget how this man made her feel. Come on now. Hello. I love it. So you guys, that was the message, okay? At the end of the day, we are the ones that have the power, not the powers that be. Right. But we are the power. It's inside of us. And it's how you utilize your power. You know, you can definitely utilize it for good and not evil. You don't have to try to manipulate people to make them do what you want them to do or convince them that your word is bond. Right. That's bullshit all day long. You know what I'm saying? Realize who you are, know from whence you came, and live in that reality. Period. There ain't nothing left to say on that, y'all. That was in his and her words live, you guys. Lady Darah, Brother Demetrius Smith, Abah SoFloetic. Same time, same place next Thursday, y'all. 7 p.m. Love y'all. Eastern. We love you for real. For real. For real. For real. For real. For real. My brothers and sisters.
Hello. Yes, remember, love is first every day, y'all. That is life. L.I.F.E. Love is first every day. How about that? Smooches. Peace in the Middle East.
All right. Stop this. Uh-oh.